Hey, we got Steve in the house. How are you, sir? Good to see you. This is actually the second time I went live this morning. I'm having some technical difficulties, and I'm not sure. Good morning to you, sir. Today is Tuesday, and we got Robert from Omaha. Excellent. Greetings to all. Yes, Shock Week countdown. David Englehart in the house. Today's going to be a good topic for IAEI News Live. And for some reason, I'm not live on my LinkedIn account, and I'm not sure why. I'm puzzled. I'm puzzled as to why I'm not making it out to LinkedIn. I should not be on Facebook. And I don't think I am. So right now I'm going out to YouTube. So anyway, I've got to figure that one out. Today's topic, IAEI News Live, 12 o'clock Eastern, is going to be on Chapter 4. You know what I want to talk about today is navigating the NEC. And David, you see a lot of this. David Englehart, when you're looking at an area or someone asks about a requirement. I use the example of, like, say, a receptacle. Somebody says, "Hey, did you pay your renewal fee?" I didn't think LinkedIn had a renewal fee, but you might be right. Alan Burstein, we got Alan in the house. But so the topic or the comment, the discussion point for today is when you're navigating. If somebody asked you, what is the requirements for a receptacle or installing a luminaire, or what are the requirements for installing a transformer? You and I both, David and I and others who watch this, and Eli Markovich, we all understand that, okay, transformers is a general use product, so I'm going to have my chapter 1 requirements for working space, my chapter 2 requirements, 215 for feeders, etc. But then you're going to have to figure out, okay, where else in the code? And chapter 4 is going to ring your bell with regard to, if it's a transformer, it's 450. If it's a luminaire, it's 404. Is that right? No, 410 I think is luminaires. 410. I know 422 is appliances. 408 is your panel boards. 409 is your industrial control panels. So once you have that knowledge of the titles of the chapters and all that good stuff, then you get to understand where to go in the code to find some answers. At least you're one up on someone else. I mean, you sound like you know your stuff when someone says, well, where would I find the requirements for transformers? And you go, oh, that's chapter 4. That's general use equipment. So I know we're going to be in chapter 4. And, 1 through 4 apply generally. So you got to think about chapter 1 for the general requirements. So then you got chapter 2. That's, you just sound smart. You sound like you know what you're doing. It doesn't take much. So understanding how the code is laid out is a great first step to finding the answers to many questions. And that's what we're going to take a look at chapter 4. We're going to see how it relates. We'll take a look at some of the requirements in chapter 4 and talk about how you may have to bounce around, but it happens. So David, thank you for joining us. Robert from Omaha. I don't know if I paid I must not have paid my LinkedIn fees. So I logged in. It said I needed to log in. It said that my account wasn't connected. So I think I connected. I put my user ID and password in, and it said, you're good to go. So, and in fact, it put all those little stars up. So I don't know, Robert. Alan Bernstein, I hope everything is well with you, my friend. Your name came across my desk. I can't remember what the context was. It was a question that came up, and I was like, oh, Alan probably will know. And for the life of me, I don't know if anybody has contacted you, but I gave I gave them some information, but I can't remember what it was about. But thanks for joining in. Eli, good morning. Good morning to you. You got to have that T per N Y A. Good morning to ya. Excellent. Thanks for joining in, Eli. Jorge, any key tips on passing the PE exam? Yes. So here's, you've got to understand what your focus is first, Jorge. When I took it, it was a little mix of everything. Now I believe it is very focused. So here's what I did. In fact, you know what I might do? I might do this later. I might do it later because today is Tech Tuesday. Give me a sec. Hey, everybody. If you're watching this, that means I am either having some technical difficulties or had to step away to do something simple like sign for a package. I don't know. But whatever the reason, I'd like to remind you to take this time to go out to thomasdimitrovich.com or, to make it easy, www.tdunplugged.com. Take a look at what I have to offer on my website. I'm doing a blog. I've got some information up there for you. I will be putting out info on things like my Q&A Friday and Tech Tuesdays and things like that. Anything that I'm doing online and some industry information. So please don't forget, check out my website. Also, don't forget to check out www.youtube.com/TD Unplugged. It's all right here. Don't forget, check those out. Enjoy the technical information, and leave a note on pretty much all of the pages on my website. Also, all of the videos. You can leave notes, comments. I will be checking those, and we will hopefully follow up on those during our Q&A Friday sessions. Thank you for what you do for the industry. Thank you. All right. Jorge, I'll tell you. So here's what I did in studying for the PE. Where I work good is what I like to do is problems. I like to work through problems and example problems. So what I did, I had this book, NCEES, and this is electrical and computer power. And what it is just problem after problem after problem. I drew all my problems out, answered all of the questions. They gave, these are all sample questions. I mean, I went through this, and they did even, look at these, look at this, look. You got, these are just some of the problems that are in that book, okay? So, I would save this because this was like these are like sample questions and solutions. So I looked through some of the problems, and then I went through my textbooks, and I found some of the books I used, Elements of Power Systems Analysis, great resource, Beeman Handbook, Industrial Power Systems Handbook. This is the Donald Beeman Handbook. There's a lot of great explanation in here. This was my machines book, Electric Machinery, 5th edition. And then what I did was I wrote to the publisher, not the author, but the publisher. I wrote to the publisher of this book and this book, the Stevenson book, and I got the solutions manual to the questions that are in the back of the book, at the back of each chapter. And what I had to do was I had to get that, I wrote to them, told them I'm studying for the exam, and I asked them for can I get the answer questions for those, and they wanted me to write a letter on my corporate letterhead and ask for that, so I did. I did the same thing for the answer book for the Stevenson book. So those are a part of my library, and I went to the back of these books and I did problem after problem after problem to understand it. And then I even went out and I found these are, problem solvers in electromagnetics. This is electrical power systems engineering. This is, again, it's an older book, but remember, these are problems and solutions. Look at that. Problems and solutions. So these are just basic power systems engineering examples. These are, and I tabbed them all because we were allowed to bring our books to the exams. But they basically laid out all of the different questions. And look at this one. Gotta love this book. Handbook of Electric Power Calculations. It's all tabbed. I had them all tabbed. And I would do problem after problem after problem. And what we would do, myself and a colleague of mine, I was studying for the PE in Pennsylvania. He was studying for the PE in West by God, Virginia. This is another old one. I didn't use it as much, but it's problems in engineering, current machinery. I don't know where the heck I bought these. I think I bought most of these books on eBay, but that was when eBay was a big thing. So in any case, Facebook Marketplace or whatever, that's what I did, and I would just work problem after problem after problem after problem. So he and I would study together. We would do problems together. We would meet at a Panera Bread in Moon Township after work, and we would sit down and cover the just do problems together. And then at the very end, after I would, towards getting closer, I opened this book, and I did the sample problems here. So my advice is to get a colleague, get a buddy, and if that's something, hey, Jorge, if you wanted to do some things together, I would love to do some problems. That would be a great YouTube experience. We could work out some problems together online. That would be fun. If I have the time, that would be absolute awesome. But in any case, that's what I did. My tip is study, and run through problems. Get your mindset in answering problems. I mean, that's another big challenge that we have is you want to have the mindset of how to attack a problem. So the first thing I did on the exam, I knew the code. I studied the code, and I was getting somewhat proficient. I was just doing the navigating, like the topic for today, just understanding how to navigate the NEC. There were more NEC questions on there than I expected. And what the questions that they pick are the ones where if you just go to for one section and answer it, you probably got the wrong answer. So you have to understand how to navigate the code. So I did all of those code questions first. I went through the entire exam, did all of the stuff I knew right off the bat. Anything that I saw that I felt, I got this covered. I did all of those first. Ignored everything else. If I looked at something and it even smelled like it was going to take me some time, I skipped it. Went to the next question. Went through the entire exam that way. And then, once I felt comfortable with those, and in my opinion, those were I'll call them the gimmies, where I felt like I had a 99.9 confidence that I got those accurate and correct. Then I went back and I started looking at the problems that I knew were going to take me a little bit more time, and that's the way I attacked the exam itself. But prep. That's all I can say. And if there's anything I can do to help you, I will do it if I can. I'm really glad to see you're stepping up and taking that PE exam. That is a great step in your career, in my opinion. I didn't think about it until a manager of mine said, "Hey, why don't you go get your PE?" And I'm like, well, I was toying between getting my master's in marketing or master's in electrical engineering. I didn't do either of those. I got my PE license, and it helped me. It helped my confidence level, and it proved to me after the fact that I can take a freaking exam and do well at it. So, but I'll tell you what, waiting for the results. I don't know how they do it today, but we took the exam, and I'll tell you another thing. When I woke up, I took mine in Pittsburgh, down at the convention center. I woke up, I didn't have breakfast. I thought, well, I'll just get a coffee on the way, because I'm not a big breakfast guy. Left the house, made a left on the road. Going down the road, I hit a deer. It hit me. It actually hit the side of my truck. Big old doe. I had to call the police. They had to come. Now I'm like looking at my watch, like I got to get to this exam down in Pittsburgh, and getting through the tunnels is a pain in the rear end. So I got my hit the deer. Police came. I get in the truck. I fix my side mirror. Have to get down to the drive. Now I have no time to stop to get a coffee. I don't have any time to go and get a bagel or anything. I drive to the convention center in Pittsburgh, get out. Now I'm like pressed for time. I had a little cart for my books. I lug all my books up to the room, and there's a sign on the door that says the exam was moved to the other side of the convention center. And the only way to get there, I had to go back down the elevator, I had to go through the parking garage, cross the street into another parking garage, go back up the other side. And then when I went into that room, I was like the last one. They were looking at their watch like, what the heck? I'm sweating. I'm tired. Did not have my coffee. Hit a deer. Sit down. I put all my stuff out and calmed down. And then I took the exam. You don't want that to happen. Plan, you want to go in calm, you want to go in collected, you want to be ready for it. So if there's anything I can do to help you, Jorge, I don't know where you're taking it at. I don't know what part of the world you're going to be in. But yeah, problems. Complex variables, if you're doing the power systems engineering option, complex variables, know your angles, understand the power triangle, understand the power factor angle, how to do power factor correction, how to calculate the canceling phase A, B, and C to determine how much current's in the neutral. Understand those theories and stuff. That'll get you a long way. Understand per unit, very important. Symmetrical components. National Electrical Code, though, you should ace that. I mean, hit what you know first. All right. Build, use 1 through... Yes, basic plan. Steve, there could be more cross-reference notes added, like this requirement may be altered in. You know, I'll tell you what. I did one time, Steve. I was seeing a lot of people miss a very fundamental thing. They would apply a transformer. They would take the transformer, they would put 125% on the primary, and they would say, I don't need secondary protection. And then they would feed a panel board that had 6 disconnects without a main on a delta Y ground transformer. I would see it all the time, especially in a selectively coordinated system. So I would raise it and say, well, no, you have to put a breaker on the secondary. And they would go, oh, no, in 450, it says primary protection only. And I didn't know how to effectively argue that until much later. And then once I did figure out how to argue that specific topic, and help them navigate the code, worked out a lot better for me. So to help people understand how to properly apply the National Electrical Code. But that is so what I did was I put a public input in. I put it in, it was code making panel 9, and there was one individual on panel 9 who knows me very well. And I'm in the room, And what I wanted to do was basically add a note to say, hey, don't forget about Article 408 when you're supplying panel boards, because that was what I commonly sell. And I figured they would say, well, no, we're not going to do that because it only specifically calls out one product and it should be more generic, whatever. So I added a note in there, and it was rejected. And you know what they said? The individual who led the led the downfall of that public input said, now you can imagine, he is sitting on the opposite side of the table facing me. I'm sitting next to the wall, and we can see each other. He says, I know this individual, and he has to understand that the code is not for the uneducated and the unqualified person. This proposal should be rejected, and blah, 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 blah. But his comment was, don't add the clarity because it's not for the untrained person. Unfortunately, that's what rejects, I think, a lot of things like what you're saying, Steve. When we want to put this little pointer in to say, hey, I know we commonly forget it. You should go over and look at it. But that was the reason. Alan, you're thinking of we're all thinking of retiring. I was thinking about retiring, Alan, when I graduated college. What are you talking about? You're thinking of retiring. Man, Alan, you're too young to retire. So, sometime this year. Wow, Alan. No, I don't know that you saw the fine print note when they hired you. The fine print note said you cannot retire. So I don't know. I think what we employ, what I was advocating for was employing a taxidermist in our company. I said we should get a taxidermist. We should record everything that they've been saying throughout their entire career, and then use artificial intelligence to get this thing to talk. I mean, now we're talking. I mean, we need you around. You have too much knowledge, Alan, to think about riding off into the sunset. No matter what you do, you need to stay engaged. And Jake has decided to grace us with his presence because my wife just left. Right, Jake? He's a good boy. I don't know if anybody has seen Jake before. I don't know if you can see Jake. This is my buddy Jake. You want to say hi? You gotta say hi to everybody. You're a good boy. My buddy Jake is a good boy. Nihad El Sharif, we're going to see you in a couple. Oh no, we're going to see you next week. Yes, I joined at the tail end of our exam. Story sounds like I missed a good story. Sorry, somebody had asked about. It was Jorge. Carvalho, whatever. I don't know. Very musical. In any case, he asked about tips on taking the PE exam, so I had to go and get all my books. But in any case, there's some good references there. But we will see you. I fly in on Sunday down to Jacksonville, so I will see you. I think you don't get in until Monday. I'm getting out of there Thursday because we're going to the IEEE board meeting the following week. Steve says, yes, the good old main lug panel straight off the secondaries. Yeah, the cross-reference notes might possibly help, and I got shot down in flames. I was, in fact, Robert Osborne was sitting there laughing his butt off as this gentleman proceeded to rip me another one at the code panel. But in any case, Steve, I agree with you. I think that any of those little added nuggets of gold, especially when we have areas where we're seeing it missed in the field often. And I have seen so many drawings when I was heavily involved with that. I don't get that visibility anymore, but I know it's out there, and David Engelhart and others can probably attest to it. When we miss things like that, it is really critically important that we plug those gaps and we try to educate. And it wasn't until wasn't until I was with somebody at an IAEI meeting. I can't remember who it was, and this was quite a long time ago, and they gave me this advice. They said, "Well, look, go to Article 408, then go to Article 240, the transformer secondary conductor requirements in 240. That's in the section around tap conductors." And he basically helped me navigate the code to tell the story, and then I understood it, because you just can't read one area, one section. I know it says primary protection only, but it only pertains to the transformer. So I teach that anytime I can, and I try to raise the awareness of it. But Steve, I think I agree with you. I know that I agree with you because I put a public input in. I died on that vine. But in many cases, it's worth trying again, because people change. And maybe that was a weak moment for that one individual, and maybe that wasn't a weak moment. Maybe that's just their philosophy. And maybe that individual's not there anymore. I don't know. But I have a feeling that it would have survived had I not had one person. All it takes is one person to make it their goal to kill that one. Yes, the good old, it's not written for the... That's exactly right. And I don't necessarily disagree with some of that, but because you can't make it idiot-proof. You can't make it such that I can take Jake here. You know, I mean, I know he sits and listens to a lot of these programs, but I would never expect him to say, "Hey, Tom, let's grab the code and go install us a receptacle." Ain't gonna happen. So, Nihad, you should consult. Yes, you could be a consultant like Nihad, and we could travel to. Where were we, Nihad? In Marrakesh when we got lost, and we walked for hours. Literally, Nihad and I got lost in Marrakesh. We should write a book about that, and I will never forget when I will never forget. We were walking down this street in Marrakesh or in Africa, right? So we're walking down this street, and I'm like, "Man, Nihad, I don't know where the heck we're at, but I'm getting nervous." And he said, "Well, Tom, I look like them and I speak like them. You're screwed." I was like, "Oh, that was beautiful." It was, I don't know you. I don't know the American. Oh my God, that was so funny. But yeah, we were lost in Marrakesh. So Alan, you, me, and Nihad could travel to far and distant lands, get lost when we go out for a walk. And I need help because I need muscle, and you could be the muscle. So I know if we get into a scrap, we can fight our way out. All right, so you get in Monday morning at 10. Yeah, I leave Thursday night. So I'll at least be there for the day, and then I get out. Yeah, I have to leave Thursday too. So you know what? My issue is I at least want one day at home, because I leave Saturday. I leave Saturday for not Brazil. What is it? Where are we going? Chile. I leave Saturday for Chile, so that's going to be. I at least need. I can't come home Friday night and then get up early in the morning and get right back on a plane and head to Chile. And that's going to be an overnight stay too. I mean, overnight flight. So it's like I fly to one hotel. I got to sit there for umpteen million hours and wait for my next flight. So anyway. Yep. We were in Marrakesh, Morocco. That's it. Yeah. We were supposed to go. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. We were supposed to go to Cairo. That's going to be delayed. I mean, there's little things called wars, and it sounds like that might be getting over here shortly. I was just watching the news today. Well, no, that was a different war. I was watching the news today, and they were talking about the war over in Ukraine, hopefully coming to an end. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I wish that people could just learn to get together and talk about electrical safety. It's therapeutic. You know what I'm saying? All right. So today, our topic is Chapter 4. Chapter 4, we're going to take a look at the requirements in Chapter 4, help understand the navigations of the code. It is Tech Tuesday. So, Santiago, Chile. Oh, man, that's right. You gotta fly. So, and I got my hotel. Thank goodness that you and I talked. I got my hotel. I just have to figure out how to get from the airport to the hotel, and you can update me because you're going to be there first. All right, everybody. So that's our topic today. We're going to make it. Yes, just too many wars. Too many wars. Excellent. Cairo will still be on. Hopefully, we will not have flight restrictions. All right. So today is Tuesday. I'm not sure why I'm not streaming to LinkedIn, but we're on YouTube where it counts. Thanks for joining in today. Hopefully we had some, we'll have I think we're going to have a good discussion at 12 o'clock Eastern today on IAEINewsLIVE. So we will see you there, see all of you there, and Alan, you too, Nihad, Steve. I don't think we're going to have David with us. David Engelhart is going to be attending a different program. I think NFPA has a program going on at the same exact time as IAEINewsLIve. You got to give us an update, David, on how that program was. We need a report. Our group needs a report. All of those in here will need a report as to how it was and what you learned, all that jazz. And if you want to go live with me, you can. We can set up the cameras and we can do a Cliff Notes version of that. All right. Have a great day, everybody. Take care. Stay safe. Please stay healthy. All that jazz. And catch you at 12 o'clock. I got to get to work. Take care. Thanks, Niad.